I'm Naomi Ellison. I'm 29 years old. And 4 days ago, my parents sent me a text message that finally broke the last thread of loyalty I had left for them. It was 4 p.m. on a Saturday. Before I tell you what happened next, drop a comment and tell me where you are watching from and what time it is right now. I want to see how far this story travels. I was getting ready to drive across the bridge to Tiburon. My dress was hanging on the door, a simple navy silk slip dress I'd bought specifically for tonight. Tonight was the 40th wedding anniversary gala for my parents. It wasn't just a party. In my family, nothing is ever just a party. It was a coronation. A black tie event hosted at their private estate overlooking the San Francisco Bay. The house with the infinity pool that seems to drop into the ocean, and the hand-laid limestone deck where deals worth millions were signed over cocktails. I was putting on my shoes when my phone buzzed. It was my mother. The text was short, surgical. It hit me like the cold clang of a crystal glass shattering on marble. Naomi, we think it's best if you don't come tonight. The guest list has become strictly high profile. Investors, politicians, potential clients. You know how you get in these settings. You'll make everyone uncomfortable. Please respect the family image. We'll do a private lunch next week. I stared at the screen until my vision blurred. You'll make everyone uncomfortable. I sat down on the edge of my bed in my one-bedroom rental in Berkeley. I didn't cry. I think I ran out of tears for the Ellison family about a decade ago. Instead, I felt a cold, hard knot tighten in my chest. So, I stayed home. I took off the silk dress. I put on my oversized hoodie. I curled up on my couch with a blanket, and I watched the gala happen through the screen of my phone. The photos started rolling in around 7 p.m. The lighting was perfect. The water in the background glowed under thousands of fairy lights. A string quartet played somewhere off-screen. And somewhere in that crowd, surrounded by San Francisco's elite, were my parents and my sister, Madeline. They were laughing. They were holding flutes of Dom Perignon. They looked perfect. The golden family. Then, just as the gala reached its peak, right around the time my father would be tapping his glass for a toast, my phone rang. It was Madeline, I answered. Her voice wasn't the smooth, polished alto she used for clients. It was trembling. It sounded like something glass had broken inside her throat. Naomi, what did you do? She whispered. I didn't say anything. I just took a sip of my tea. Mom and Dad, they just saw it. She panicked, her voice rising to a shriek. Investors are looking at their phones. People are whispering. The board members are walking out. Naomi, everything is unraveling. What the hell did you do? I smiled into the receiver. I respected the family image, Madeline, I said softly. I cleared up the confusion. What she meant was this. The article had just gone live. My company, Heliometric, had been quietly developing valuation tech for the emerging electric marine industry. That night, at exactly 8:15 p.m., TechCrunch and the Marine Journal simultaneously published my press release announcing a full acquisition partnership with Echelon Marine Group. And embedded in that article were the receipts, the screenshots, the timestamps, the emails, the security footage. Proof that Madeline Ellison, my older sister, the chosen one, the face of the legacy, had tried to steal my life's work and pass it off as her own. Before I tell you exactly what happened when the truth hit the fan, drop a like on this video if you've ever been the black sheep of your family. I want to see how many of us are out there. To understand why I burned them to the ground that night, you need to understand the Ellisons. We weren't just wealthy, we were coastal aristocracy. Think old Marin County money. My family ran Ellison Coastal Advisory, one of the most exclusive firms for luxury marine brokerage in the western U.S. Our name was etched in bronze at the Sausalito Yacht Club. My parents' holiday parties made the society pages. My mom once told me, without a hint of irony, you aren't successful in Tiburon until the Ellisons host your fundraiser. And then there was Madeline. 6 years older, beautiful in that effortless, expensive way. Raised on caviar and introductions to senators. At 16, she was coordinating galas. By 25, she was managing the firm's top client portfolio, chartering super yachts for celebrities, closing financing deals with foreign princes. She dressed in muted grays and cashmere. She wore pearls to feel grounded. She had the kind of smile that made you thank her for overcharging you. And then there was me, the quiet one, the awkward one. I didn't like the parties. I was allergic to the social performance. I liked data. I liked systems. I got into Caltech at 17 and spent my summers in an AI lab while Madeline was networking in Cannes. When I graduated from Caltech, my parents didn't come. My dad sent a text. Urgent mooring inspection in Monaco. Can't reschedule. We're proud in spirit. Business is about presence, Naomi, my mom told me later. You understand? Yeah, I understood. I understood when I came home for Thanksgiving and was introduced to clients as Naomi, our engineer, spoken with the same tone one might use for our gardener. I understood when I tried to show my father my research on optimizing yacht scheduling with predictive maintenance models, and he waved me off. That's too academic, Naomi. Clients buy the dream, not the math. Leave the business to your sister. Madeline belonged. I didn't. In the Ellison family, your value was measured in how good you made the brand look. If you couldn't sell the image, you were just background noise. So, I stopped trying to join the show. I started building my own theater. While Madeline was smiling through investment presentations, I was sketching out heliometric on the wall of my bedroom. It was an AI system that could scan real-time marine data, sensor diagnostics, and global vessel history to generate instant, dynamic pricing for electric yachts. No firm had cracked this. Everyone in my parents' world was still using human brokers who guessed prices based on gut feeling, reputation, and 5-year-old spreadsheets. My model cut the valuation turnaround time by 80%. It was accurate to the dollar. I didn't tell my family. Not yet. I was careful. I knew how they operated. I encrypted everything. I stored prototypes on independent servers. I watermarked my early decks. Was I paranoid? No. I knew how easily something valuable gets labeled family property when it's convenient for them. Then, 6 months ago, the call came. Naomi, my mom said. Her voice was tight. We need to talk about Ellison Coastal. It wasn't a conversation. It was a pitch. There's pressure, she admitted. The market is shifting. We're losing perception. Clients want innovation. They want tech. They want to know we're ahead of the curve. She paused. Madeline says you've been developing some tools, valuation algorithms. Maybe it's time you help us. Just show us enough to present something new at the next investor round. Help your sister. Help your sister. The magic words. I hesitated. But deep down, the child in me still wanted their approval. I wanted them to see me. Okay, I said. I'll show you the framework. But the IP stays mine. Of course, darling, Mom said. We just want to brag about you. I drove to the Sausalito office that Saturday. Madeline met me in the boardroom. She had her red notebook, her perfect blowout, her charm set to high. She asked me to walk her through the framework. I gave her the high-level version, no code, just slides with illustrations, sample data flows, and interface logic. She nodded intently. She took notes. I noticed she was writing down specific terms I had coined in private. Dynamic load curve modeling, proximity-aware depreciation matrix. I should have walked out then. But I didn't. 2 weeks later, I was sitting in the back of an investor meeting. Madeline stood at the front of the room, radiant. A room full of private equity guys hung on her every word. Ellison Coastal is revolutionizing marine asset valuation, she announced. We are introducing a proprietary data framework called Dynamic Load Curve Modeling. My words, my phrasing. A hand went up in the front row. This is impressive. Who developed the back end? Madeline smiled that perfect, practiced smile. We worked with my sister, Naomi, she said, gesturing vaguely to the back of the room. She's been helping with the technical side. Helping. The word carved through me. I wasn't the creator. I was the help. After the meeting, She pulled me into her office and handed me an NDA. "What is this?" I asked. "It's standard," she said breezily. "To protect the family. It just says that any work done on company time belongs to the firm." "I didn't do this on company time," I said. "I built this in my apartment for 3 years." Her smile faded. Her eyes went cold, the look she usually saved for staff who messed up a coffee order. "Naomi, we need the full model," she said. "The investors are demanding full integration. We need the code." "No," I said. "You used our context," she snapped. "You grew up in this industry. You used our knowledge. That makes it ours. I'm not giving you the code, Madeline." She leaned forward. "Don't make this difficult. You're putting your ego ahead of the legacy. If you don't hand it over, we'll sue you. We have better lawyers." I left the office shaking. 2 days later, I came home to my apartment in Berkeley. The door was unlocked. My heart hammered against my ribs. I pushed the door open. My laptop was gone. My external hard drives were gone from my desk. I didn't call the police. I called my building manager. "Hey, did you let someone in?" "Yeah," he said. "Your sister came by. She had a key. Said her mom gave it to her to pick up some files you forgot for work. Is everything okay?" My mother had a spare key for emergencies. She had given it to Madeline to rob me. I stood in the center of my living room, feeling violated. They thought they had won. They thought they had scrubbed me out, but they forgot who I was. I'm not the social one. I'm the engineer. I didn't keep my life's work on a laptop under my bed. Everything was backed up to an encrypted, decentralized cloud server with 2FA that only I could access. And more importantly, I had installed a hidden Wise camera on my bookshelf 3 months ago, just to watch my cat while I was at work. I opened the app on my phone. There it was. 2:14 p.m., Madeline walking into my apartment. She went straight to my desk. She rifled through my drawers. She shoved my hard drives into her Hermes Birkin bag. I downloaded the footage. Then I checked my email. There was a draft in my sent folder that I hadn't written. Madeline had logged onto my iPad while she was there and sent an email to her work account. Attached are the preliminary files for the Ellison project. Happy to contribute to the family firm. She was trying to create a paper trail of consent. I didn't scream. I didn't call her. I created a folder on my desktop named Nuclear Option. I dragged the video file in. I dragged the metadata proving the files were created 3 years ago. I dragged the audio recording I had secretly taken during our meeting where she threatened me. I dragged the patent filing I had submitted 6 months prior without their knowledge. And then I waited. I waited for the perfect moment. I waited until the week of the 40th Anniversary Gala. They started erasing me before the party even started. I was scrubbed from the website bio. My name was removed from the next generation press releases. Then came the text. "Don't come. You'll make everyone uncomfortable." That was the signal. I called my contact at Tech Republic. I told him, "I have an exclusive, but it has to run tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific." He looked at the evidence. He looked at the partnership deal I had just signed with Echelon Marine, Ellison's biggest competitor. "This is going to destroy them," he said. "I know," I replied. "Run it." Back to the night of the party. I'm sitting on my couch. The article hits. Headline: Breakthrough Valuation Tech by Naomi Ellison, acquired by Echelon Marine founder, exposes IP theft and corporate espionage at Ellison Coastal. The article didn't hold back. It was a masterpiece of investigative journalism. It included the video of Madeline robbing my apartment. It included the audio of her saying, "Nobody cares about the engineer, Naomi. They care about the face." It included a quote from Dr. Tara Mendez, my thesis advisor at Caltech. "This work is 100% Naomi's." Any claim by Ellison Coastal is categorically false and mathematically impossible for them to have produced. The story caught fire instantly. Reddit threads lit up. Industry forums went crazy. "Golden child caught stealing," someone commented. "Ellison Coastal is a fraud," said another. My phone exploded. First Madeline, Then Mom, "This is unforgivable!" My mother screamed into the phone when I finally answered. "You humiliated your family. Your father is sick over this. Do you have any idea how much damage you've done?" "I didn't do anything, Mom," I said calmly. "I just stayed home, like you asked." "Retract it," she shrieked. "Call them and say it was a misunderstanding. We'll lose everything." "I can't," I said. "It's not my story anymore. It's the truth." I hung up. The fallout was brutal and immediate. 3 major clients pulled their listings within 48 hours. They didn't want their assets managed by a firm accused of fraud. A $27 million fleet deal that Madeline had been bragging about for months collapsed. The investors pulled out, citing due diligence concerns. The firm's board launched an internal review the next morning. Madeline was suspended within the week. The investigation confirmed everything: my patents, my data, my timestamps. She resigned, quietly. No going away party, no champagne. Just a LinkedIn update that read, "Exploring new opportunities." Good luck with that. The internet never forgets. Search her name now, and the first result isn't top broker. It's security footage of IP theft. A few nights later, my dad called. He sounded small, defeated. "I knew," he whispered. "I suspected the tech was yours, Naomi. It was too advanced for Madeline. She can barely use Excel." I waited. "I should have stopped it," he said. "But I told myself we could fix it later. That you'd understand. That you'd do it for the family." "I did do it for the family," I told him. "I did it for my family, me." He didn't respond. I blocked his number the next day. 1 year has passed since that night. I live in New York City now, far away from the Tiburon coast. Heliometric is currently valued at $180 million. We have contracts with 3 of the largest electric yacht networks in the world. I lead a team of 80 people: engineers, product managers, legal advisors. I don't have family at my company. I have people who respect me. I have people who value my mind, not just how well I fit into a cocktail dress. At the Women in Deep Tech Summit last fall, I gave the keynote speech. I stood on stage, looking at a room full of brilliant women. They told me I made rooms uncomfortable, I told the crowd. But the truth is, sometimes discomfort is just what happens when women stop shrinking themselves to fit into spaces that are too small for them. I got a standing ovation. I don't check on my parents. Last I heard, Ellison Coastal's revenue was down 40%. They brought in outside leadership to try and salvage the brand. The Tiburon estate is quiet now. No more galas. No more lights over the bay. They might have to sell it next year. Madeline tried to pivot to luxury real estate in Arizona. Land, not water. But reputation travels. No one is biting. My mom sent me a letter last month. It was handwritten on her heavy, cream-colored stationery. It said, "We miss you. Please come home. We can put this behind us." I held the letter over my stove burner. I watched the corner catch fire. I watched the flame curl up over her elegant handwriting, turning the words family and love into black ash. I didn't win by exposing them. I didn't win because of the money. I won because I protected what was mine. This wasn't revenge. It was a correction. If this story hits home for you, if you've ever been erased, minimized, or told to stay in the background to make someone else shine, listen to me. Your work deserves your name. Your silence is not required to keep the peace. Protect your ideas. Set your boundaries. And when they tell you you're making them uncomfortable, turn up the volume. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a story. Comment nuclear below if you think I did the right thing.